Thursday, NHL best bets, sides, totals, props. We've got it all for you right here on PuckTime, WagerTalk TV. Andrew McGinnis, Carmine Bianco, Lawrence Presman, and Bryan Leonard. Looking forward to a great show on a busy Thursday slate for Thursday, December 4th. Carm, about a split night for me. Did lose the big one, but I'll tell you, happy to get involved again with the NHL team total market. The Capitals over 3.5 goals in one period. Man, I have been needing one of those team total wins for so long, and you finally get one. Plus 110 over the Sharks to get over 3.5 goals. That one felt good. We split the college basketball. Unfortunately, the big one is dropped. But overall, I will take it. Move on to today. I know you got a big play going tonight. We'll get to that shortly, but hopefully a big day for both of us here.
Yeah, that was quite the game in last night in San Jose by Washington. I had that one, and I had two spot plays last night. That one with Washington, and that was, as you said, a rocking chair winner. When you're up 4 or 5-0, you don't expect to lose that one, and they didn't. And then in the other game, I had over 6.5 in the Anaheim and Utah game. And if you told me the final score that Anaheim would not have any goals, I'm like, all right, okay, I split on the night. Utah, I don't know where they got it from, but they found 7 goals last night to go over that 6.5 total. So God bless them. And I do have a 5% play up for tonight in the NHL. You can use NHL 10 to get $10 off of it. Andrew, we're going to bring in the Prez. He's going to do Toronto and Carolina, but some breaking news, or not breaking really. I saw it yesterday. The NHL and the NHL Players Association have said that unless Milan, Italy, fix the rink, that no NHL players are going to be going to the Olympics. The rink is 4 feet smaller than a real NHL rink. I don't know how they fix it in this amount of time, or can they get it done? The Italian workmanship, I guess, lacks a little to be desired. They didn't use that Italian level that they check things 4 feet shorter. That rink, and I think there's some other stuff with it as well too, but that's not great news, is it?
No, well, Carm, I was doing a show about this yesterday, and I was just saying, imagine if this was another sport. Imagine if they told LeBron James, hey, you know what, the net at the Olympics for you is going to be 11.5 feet, not 10 feet. Good luck with that. Or if they told an Olympic swimmer that your pool is going to be 3 or 4 feet longer than you've been training for your whole life. I feel like that changes, and you see Panda. I love the comment because I'm the kind of guy that never reacts this much to stuff. But for something like this, I am going to react to it because how can you mess that up? You can't mess that up. Like, Carm, if a soccer pitch just so happened to be 3 or 4 feet wider or skinnier, like that makes a difference. So, and then I was talking with Gabe Morency on Twitter, and he was like, well, look, they played a game in Lake Tahoe, regular season game, and it was all slushy. It wasn't even a real ice. And I get that, but it's the Olympics. Aren't we supposed to have our standards high? That's my take. Listen, we can't be lowering our standards for the Olympic Games.
There's nothing more delicious than Italian ice. If you go to New York, you'll find it. Italian ice, it's great. Let's bring in the Prez for his thoughts before he does Toronto and Carolina. There he is. Look at that hat.
Good day.
You have the best hat collection, dude.
I do. I find it beautifully ironic that we counted on a bunch of Italians in a construction environment and they failed us.
That just described Montreal in a nutshell.
as far as does 4 feet matter? Is that a joke? Oh my God. An Olympic-sized rink is about 4 feet wider, and it changes the entire game. Yeah, it does matter. It matters a lot. They should maybe move the uprights in football back 4 feet. See how many 69-yard field goals are converted.
I'm shocked. I really thought Prez was coming on here to say 4 feet doesn't matter.
Why? What am I, an idiot?
Well, aren't you like 5'4"? Yeah, I thought you'd be advocating for a little bit of, it's okay. Size doesn't matter that much.
Yes, it does. Every single incredibly smart, talented, rich, successful person is short. Of course, size matters.
Every inch matters.
Yes. The shorter, the more successful. Go ask Stallone and Cruz and all the presidents of America and CEOs of they've done studies on this, Mr. 6'6" guy. The shorter you are, the more successful you are. Why? Probably because you have a bone to pick with tall people. But whatever the reason is, size matters, baby. Short rules.
Prez, would you say that they changed? Are you going to go as far? Would you say that they change who they bring because of this? Like, does Tom Wilson maybe make the roster now because it's smaller ice?
No, because they're not playing at the Olympics if the rink isn't fixed. Guys, I got 3 minutes because Art DeCesar is literally texting me. Well, come on.
Prez, we're speaking of size here now. So size, look at the size of this line. Carolina minus 210, the Leafs plus 178. 6.5 is the total. Where are you going with this one?
Well, we're going to the under, Carm. I mean, every time you bring me on, the Leafs play, I call the under, I win. I'm like, what? And not only that, I also gave out Toronto at plus money against Florida on your show a couple of days ago. So I'm in a little bit of a run right now, and I'm going to stick to the plan. I told you guys that the under was the way to go 2 weeks ago with Toronto. And yeah, now they're playing Carolina, who just came off a smashing 1-0 victory against the Calgary Flames. Are you ready for this? 17 shots on goal for Carolina, 16 for Calgary. And Carolina has held their last 3 teams to 16, 13, and 17 shots. That's unbelievable defense, and we know that's unbelievable defense because this Carolina team focuses on defense. They've allowed 1 goal in their last 2 games, and Toronto is playing to the under. We've discussed this before. Even though on the season they're 18-7 to the under, this Toronto team has gone under 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And if you include the push on 6 times in their last 8 games, this is an under team moving forward. As far as the side goes, I don't love it. I would, if I had to bet, I would bet Toronto here plus money. And I think this team is on an upswing. So I would lean on Toronto, but really just stick to the plan. 6.5 is the total. We're going under.
Yeah, Prez, I look at this game and of all the games, and there's a lot of minus 200 games today. I think Andrew, it was tough putting together tonight's card just because of that. But of all the teams that are dogs tonight, I actually think the Leafs have the most upside and chance of winning. Even when they weren't playing their best in Toronto, they lose 5-4, I think, in overtime to this Carolina team who scored late.
Crazy game, yeah.
Yeah, it was. They scored late, came back in that game. The Leafs are playing better now. Joseph Wall in goal. He's playing extremely well. And it's Freddie Anderson in goal tonight. Looks like he's expected to go, and his save percentage is under 9. He's got a losing record at 5-6 right now, and a 307 goals against average. So it's not as if they're getting stellar goaltending. If the Leafs can avoid the penalty box and play the way they played down in Florida, I think they could steal a win here at a decent price. And I'm not a Leaf fan, so for me to throw that out there, Andrew, that I actually believe they have a shot of winning this game.
Hey, we're talking about this game. I'll just bring it up here. This is my free play of the day. Carolina over 3.5 goals, baby. So, hey, maybe we can get a 4-1 win for them, and Prez still wins his under. This team hasn't played since Sunday. You're going to give Carolina that much rest at home? I think that rest advantage makes a big difference. We'll find out. But I feel like when you give the team that much time off, there's a reason this line is minus 200. So we'll see here, guys. But I feel like there's a reason the line is the way it is.
Yeah, guys. If I can just quickly.
What do you got to promote?
Yeah, thank you, my brother. I got a 5% play up in NFL tonight. I don't normally have these 5% plays, and I have a promo code for you guys, same as before, half price, and you get 50% off of my 5% play. I also have a 4% NHL play up tonight, guys, and this is my first 4% NHL total of the entire year. So I really, really love that play. And of course, 1 NBA, 1 college hoops play. So yeah, check me out over at WagerTalk. Guys, thanks for having me. I'm going to go tape the best betting show ever. Lots of love to all of you guys. And I hope the puck goes the way you need it tonight.
Prez, good luck on the 5% play, man. Good luck. Kick ass. And guys, WT.buzz/LP for Lawrence himself. All right, Carm.
I got a bone to pick with you, man.
What's the bone?
You put up that that's a fantastic graphic, by the way. You put up that graphic. You're like maybe 4-1 final for Carolina, and you hit your team total, and Prez hits his under. How about 5-4 Leafs? I hit my plus 178. You hit your team total, and screw the Prez. He's only here for like 90 seconds. And 45 minutes promoting
the dog. If you're giving it out or you're on it, then I'll be right there with you. But Carm, before we get to our next game, but I want to ask you, like, there's certain teams for me that I really care about home ice advantage for, and there's certain teams that I think rest really matters for. And the fact that this team hasn't played since Sunday in a really condensed schedule we're facing this season, doesn't that matter a lot? Like, Maybe I'm reading too much into it. And I know that my buddy who's a Leafs fan, who you met in Toronto, he's going to look when he gets off work today. He's going to look at the price and text me and say, oh, my God, we're screwed. The odds makers think Carolina's going to kick our ass. And I think a big reason for that number is because of the fact they haven't played since Sunday. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think it's. I don't think Toronto is getting the respect of playing well like they have done recently, and in that number, I think it should be a little lower. I think they should take into account how that game in between these two teams in Toronto played. But they've had games in which they've had a couple days off. I get it's 3 days between games for these two. But, you look back at that game, and I'm just bringing it up right now. And here it is, 5-4 for Carolina. Yeah, basically they scored. They came back from a 4-1 or a 4-2 deficit to win that game 5-4. So the Leafs had that one pretty much in hand, but Carolina did have 47 shots on goal, Andrew. So maybe the analytics do play a part in that. As I always state, I'll mention the shots on goal, but I don't think that plays the biggest angle. But you have to hit the net in order to score goals. And we've seen some teams like Vancouver of last year where they had 12 or 13 shots on goal in a game, and you're wondering why we can't cash any props or any tickets with them.
Yeah, Carolina right now.
With that said,
number 3 expected goals for last 10 games, expected goals against number 2. So they're top of both categories right now.
Yeah. The thing is, like I did mention, the Leafs are a play on team moving forward. And, I have taken them a couple times. I did take them. And there was one of the pod plays as well, too, when they cashed against Florida. It doesn't mean they're going to go into Carolina and win tonight, but plus 178, Joseph Wall's playing extremely well in goal. The team's playing better back checking, which is not something, Andrew, you and I we've talked about in the past. I don't think we've ever given accolades to the Leafs back checking last season or the season before or the season before that. They're doing it now. Maybe they're buying into Berube finally and what he wants from the team. But we shall see what happens with this team tonight. I still think they need some help on the scoring front, but if they're playing better D, that matters as well too. So we'll see if they can get to Freddie Anderson tonight and get ahead in that one. I would never lay 210 in this spot. I probably wouldn't even play the regulation on Carolina. It's either take a sprinkle, a slice of pizza on the Leafs or nothing. Speaking of another minus 214 game, Andrew, Colorado minus 214 in New York to face the Islanders, or plus 173. Total sits here at 6. This Avalanche team just keeps rolling, man. I'm loving the way this team is playing right now. I just hope they don't run out of steam, because I have a bet on them to win the cup when I was down at Circa. So what are your thoughts on this one?
I mean, Carm, at this point, this team looks so good, and they're not letting their foot off the gas pedal whatsoever. That's just the case with this team. And I watched the interview with McKinnon, and to be quite frank, as someone that always roots for him, I'm not saying it was arrogant, but it was kind of like one of those interviews where he's just like, we didn't play our best game, or that game against Montreal wasn't very fun because we kicked their ass. I'm paraphrasing. We were hoping for some good gains, but like he's pretty much just saying we're so good right now. The games haven't been very fun. Like the games haven't been very competitive because we've just been absolutely dominating. But the player props have been awesome here. And I'll tell you, the best price for this one is over 3.5, minus 135. But I think that Nathan MacKinnon's shot props is the way to go here. Over 3.5 for him. You can get that minus 135, or if you go to the over 4.5, you can get that at plus 162. He still has cashed that in 3 of his last 4 games. But one thing interesting here, the New York Islanders defense, they are 12th overall in shots on goal against, but they are 26th overall in shots on goal against centermen. So I do find that kind of interesting. Whenever I see a difference, a discrepancy that's that big, where the overall picture against teams is one number, like 12, and then against centermen, it's 26th. To me, that kind of makes a little bit of a difference there. But look, this Islanders team, I backed them against the Lightning. I thought it was kind of a fishy line. We took them. We had success here. But this is just probably one of those opportunities where I think, again, like we've been saying for most of the time here, Carm, you've got an Avalanche team that is simply too deep for the Islanders to handle. Too many lines, too many opportunities, too many different guys that can step up. Like I'm pulling it up right now. If you want to bet player props on this Avalanche team, you don't just have to bet Natchez or McKinnon or Lehkonen. You can be betting Brock Nelson. You could be betting on Ross Colton. You could be betting on Nichushkin. Like if Valerie Nichushkin is a third line player for you, Carm, it's a really, really good thing. And honestly, I think Cale Makar is working himself towards a Hart Trophy here. But I think that if I was to lean towards a total here, I would actually lean towards the over. I think this Islanders team is sort of transitioning to a team that if their opponent plays fast, they'll try and play that style as well. I'm not saying it works out for them, but we could see some goals, of course, coming off that 2-1 lower scoring game. And I think this Avalanche team can definitely bring the over. But I'm going to go with Nathan MacKinnon over 3.5 shots on goal and over 4.5 shots on goal for a nice plus price.
All right. Not bad. I would probably lean to, and it's not saying much, but the Avs first period, they've only trailed once on the road all season long after 20 minutes. That's in 13 games. And overall in the season, I think they've only trailed 4 times after the opening 20 minutes. This team last year, Andrew, was one of the worst first period teams in the NHL, along with the Edmonton Oilers. This year, one of the best teams in the opening 20 minutes. And I think that is what is propelling them. They put the team behind an 8 ball and force them to try and come back against a Colorado team that can skate and get those odd man rushes and continue to score goals. So the opening 20 is what fuels this team. So with that said, I'll just take the first period in that one, lay a little bit of vig. I can't really take the minus a half and get like small plus money because the statistic that I mentioned is based on the money line and not on the handicap line. So just want to make that correct to you. So because some of those pushes would have been losses. So with that said,
right,
let's bring in none other than Mr. Bailey's himself, Bryan Leonard, to talk about the New York Rangers and the Ottawa Senators. Bri, you're a breath of fresh air. How are things?
Good. I try to watch as many shows as I can. And it was funny because as I'm writing up a selection on yesterday's card, I see you say, if Bryan Leonard was here, he would say, there's no way the Buffalo should. And I'm writing it up at the time. So I don't even know why you had me on. You could probably just guess what games I'm going to give out.
That game threw me for a loop. That game actually pissed me off because on my overnight show, I gave out Philly, but I hadn't actually bet that game or released it. I wanted to see what the overnight number did. And then when I woke up and saw Buffalo favored it, I know people would probably tell me you could have got a better price on Philadelphia. Why didn't you take it? But it messed with my head too much. I had to stay away from the game. And of course, my initial thoughts were right. So the overnight flip is not always right, I guess.
Well,
Yeah.
the reason why at least to me, the reason why it flipped was because Philadelphia had their top goal scorer injured, and he's going to be out 2 to 3 months, I guess. But you know, you always want to play teams after they have a key player getting injured, and you also have a situation where I thought there was plenty of value, and it was a game I saw the overnight. And I go, nah, that's what the line should be. I'm not going to get involved. And then all of a sudden, I see all this going on. I go, wait a minute, let me take another look at this. And like Buster said, he goes, he was looking around, he couldn't find it. Well, it was the one player who wasn't going to play, but that line was crazy. And luckily, we put it out as a 4%, and it was never in doubt for our clients. And we got a couple more 4% today. And I think it's the first time all season I've had 2 4% in the same day. I put them both in the same package. You can get them both for only $29 instead of paying $25 each for them. So a good day to join us. And number one the last 30 days in the NHL, number one lifetime in the NHL. So, yeah, we've been really good in everything lately. And that big 4% on Philadelphia at plus 120 really helped us out yesterday.
Yeah, Brian, I was watching that Sabres game, and I was watching it mainly for the fact that the pod play was the over in that game. And when they hit 6 goals, I just stopped watching it because the Sabres were completely unhinged in that game. Gave up power play after power play. While it was 2 power play goals, the third one was really essentially a power play goal because it came at 1 or 2 seconds after the power play expired. But then Rasmus Dahlin takes one of the worst penalties or dumbest penalties I've ever seen, boarding a guy. He got 5 in a game, and he should be getting a suspension for that. There's no place for that shit in hockey. I'm going to swear a little bit.
Zegras is soft. Zegras.
No. You cannot do that. You never give a guy a stick to the numbers right beside the boards. Andrew, so much can happen. It's a good thing the guy wasn't injured, like badly injured or whatever, but it takes one stupid play like that. And Rasmus Dahlin doesn't seem like a guy who would do that because I actually think the Sabres defensemen are soft. They don't move players from in front of the goal, right? You look at the Sabres defense and there isn't a guy like a Burns or what's the guy's name that plays for Anaheim with the huge beard? Gudis?
Gudis.
Yeah. Those are the guys you want, like guys who are just like, hey, you want to get in front of my goalie? You're going to feel some stick in your back and stuff. The guys who clear the net, the Sabres don't have that, unfortunately. So
let's be honest,
unhinged in that one.
Dan sees that play happen 55 times every lacrosse game he watches. The difference is the guys that are getting hit, they've been in the weight rooms. And Trevor Zegras, I think my right foot weighs as much as Trevor Zegras does. That's why he went flying so much. But you're right. It was a bad hit. So we'll see what ends up happening with him. But Brian, that could be another guy down for Philadelphia. I think he might be fine, but could be another guy down for them. All right, Brian. So lucky you. I'm jealous of you. Look, this is how sports betting works, is that I went 1-0 in hockey yesterday, and I'm now mad because I didn't take Philadelphia. But what do you have for us here today? This Ottawa Senators team, look, big road trip for them all over the place. West Coast, St. Louis, then it just capped off the road trip in Montreal. This is their first home game in a while and first home game for Brady Tkachuk in a while here. What are your thoughts on this one? And what do you think about the number here in this one, Brian?
Yeah, I just found out that Ottawa's going with their backup goalie, which is why the line moved a little bit. Luckily, my clients got this a little bit earlier. But yeah, the Rangers are 11-4-1 on the road this year, and we've talked about this in the past. This is probably the best road team over the last 3 or 4 years. I know they're one of the top ones. They play better on the road. Now they're starting to get it together a little bit at home. We figured that was going to happen. They're too talented for that. But you take a look at what they've done on the road, 11-4-1, and that includes victories at Edmonton, Tampa Bay, and Carolina. Those are 3 of the best home ice advantages in the NHL. So it's not like they've been going out on the road and playing bad teams. You know, take a look at Ottawa. They've only won 6 of their 11 home games on the season. They've lost at home to Buffalo, Chicago, Montreal, Boston, and St. Louis. This is not that strong of a home ice advantage for Ottawa. As you mentioned, they returned home from a 7-game road trip in which they went 4-3. Now, your first game back is always something we have to take a look at when you've got a team coming back home after a road trip. But it's especially a go-against situation if it was a good road trip. And Ottawa's had a struggle early on in the season, and now they won 4 out of 7 on the road. They're coming back home pretty happy. And now they're taking on this Rangers team, who I think is the better team overall, and you're getting the Rangers a plus money here. I knew the line was going to change regardless of what Ottawa put in net, and I could not believe that opening line. It's starting to get now where I would still play it as long as you're getting plus money for the Rangers. I still think that's the right side. And they're the better team, and it's just a really bad spot here for Ottawa. And as we mentioned, they have not played well at home, and they've lost to some really bad teams in this building.
Yeah, Brian, I look at this game, and Andrew, you're a players prop guy, so I'm going to mention a few things about this Rangers team. So obviously, Zibanejad, let's talk about him because he used to play for Ottawa, of course. He has played against Ottawa 11 times in Ottawa, and he has 7 goals and 6 assists, and he's registered a point in 10 of 11 games in Ottawa against the Senators. Rangers allowing 2.31 goals per game away, which is one of the best numbers in the league right now. So there's the Zibanejad one. To register a point, he's minus 142. To score a goal, and he's scored 7 in 11 games, plus 240. The Rangers, 12-2 when they score the first goal. So who I'm hoping for to score the first goal tonight to get Brian's prediction there, and then we'll talk about the pod a little later, of course. But I think you're definitely right about the team, Brian, coming off a good road trip versus a team coming off a bad road trip. And you look at it, the Rangers, you could call it a bad road trip, but those were some very good teams that they played. They come home and they come back and they beat Carolina, which I thought was a big one as well too. So we'll see what we get from them. Brian, you want to hang around and talk with Andrew and I? We have a hard out at 11:40, but talk Detroit and Columbus?
Sure.
Okay, Andrew, I'm going to throw to you first. It's a coin flip. You might be called to HR, and you won't be here tomorrow with the wrong selection. So minus 120 on Columbus, minus 101 on Detroit. Total sits here at 6.5, Andrew.
Yeah, I got to watch what I say here on this one here, guys. Look, I was waiting to see. This was kind of an interesting one for me as well, just pulling up my odds logic screen here. This was one of those ones I was kind of waiting to see what would happen overnight as well with, but we didn't really see much take place. I guess minimal movement, but most spots kind of being relatively the same here. I like Columbus in this spot, but I do like the over. Looking at this Blue Jackets team, I kind of like the direction they've gone in. It's one of those things where you look at a certain team, and if they've won a bunch of games in a row, I'm going to use, I'm going to use today. I'll use as an example, Tampa Bay Lightning. So the Tampa Bay Lightning today, they've come into this one. They've won so many games, and then they finally lose one. Who's to say that they can't lose again, right? Now, this is the case for the Columbus Blue Jackets, as they lost to the Red Wings. They lost to the Capitals. They lost to the Maple Leafs. They lost to the Penguins, and they finally get off that hump. They finally get over the hump, I should say, and they win against the Devils. And now I think that, okay, you know what? We finally broke that losing streak. I want to back a team to win again. When you've been struggling for so long and you've been kind of struggling in goal a little bit, struggling defensively a little bit, that was a emotional game, a bunch of fights, a bunch of guys contributing. That was a real good team win. Now, not to mention, this is a great revenge type of spot. The funny thing is, I backed Detroit in a revenge type of spot last week, earlier in the week, actually, against Boston. So we all know that there's certain spots to use these rapid revenge situations. I think that it's a Columbus team that struggled for a bit, trying to get back on track. They have gotten back on track a little bit. I'll look to back them again, and I love the revenge angle here. So whether you're playing Columbus, you're playing the over or team total, I think we see goals in this one, guys. I do, but I do think Columbus comes out on top in this one. This is a team that, I've tried to work on this, guys, because I have a bad habit of backing teams and trying to figure out when they're going to snap out of a losing streak. And it's not really the best habit to have. But once they've already snapped out of it, then I can take them to win once again. That's kind of my plan here with CBJ.
All right. Looks like you and I are going mano a mano on this one. And I'm going to make it easy. This is an easy one for me, Andrew. Not easy in guys, go out and play this game, but I love the fact that Detroit
Easy.
does not have to face Jet Greaves tonight, who's been having a very good season. It is Elvis. Elvis is in the building tonight. Elvis Merzlikins is tonight's confirmed starter. According to RotoWire. So we'll see. They just updated that one. So we'll see against Cam Talbot. So give me the Red Wings. Maybe I'll pop on my Patrick Kane jersey and watch that game tonight. But with that said, Bri, thoughts on this game?
Well, you each were on one side, and I'm going to be Switzerland here. Is I find the line should be where I thought it should be. If I could get Columbus at -110 or lower, I think I look at that direction. I also kind of like the over here, but it's sitting there, 6.5? I don't play many over 6.5. In fact, I don't do a lot of totals overall, but I think the line is where it should be. So I can't add much on this. I know we're short on time because Andrew's got to go, so I won't add too much to this one.
All right, Bri, what do you got to promote? And for those of you guys in the chat who absolutely love Brian, obviously head over to his page, wt.buzz/BL. But he is co-hosting tomorrow. We've given Andrew the day off. I don't know where he's going. He doesn't tell us any of this stuff. It'll be Brian and I on tomorrow's show. What do you have to promote?
Yeah, I mentioned the 2-4% plays for only $29. Saves you $21 on that. Also, I've got a 5% play in college football for Saturday's championship season, championship in the games on Friday and Saturday. So it's a Saturday play, 5%. It's only the fourth 5% I've had in college football in the last 12 months. So I don't put out many of them. It's up there right now. And I also have a free play on a game I like. It put it up. It's one of the games that you guys discussed earlier. Different way to look at it. That's up on the site right now. If you go to wt.buzz/BL, you get my free play. And you can get the 5% in college football for the weekend and 4% today at a discount. So, as I mentioned, number one the last 30 days in the NHL. I believe I'm number 3 overall the last 30 days. And since I believe it was 8-9 of this year, 8-9, 24 or 25, I've made over 75 units of profit for clients. So everything's been going well. I talked about winning in every single sport. It's all looking good right now. So if you're looking for a long-term deal, they've got that great deal up there right now. I think you can save $500, and they've got plenty of other deals. So yeah, if you're looking to join us, this is the time to do it. We've been hot for a long time, and after a while, you have to realize that maybe it's not a hot streak. Maybe we're just pretty good at this.
Maybe you're just that guy, Brian. Maybe you're just that guy.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question to it. You just are good, Brian. And if you guys don't want to commit to the long-term packages, we understand. But give Brian at least a 7-day try. Pick up the 7-day package because you're going to get tonight's couple of 4% plays. You're going to get that 5% play, which is $35 in itself. And you're going to get a bunch of college football as well from him. College basketball, I assume, possibly. NFL, of course, too. So, and then a ton of NHL through the weekend and next week. So, Brian, listen, man, I wish you the best of luck, and I will see you tomorrow morning as we get ready for PuckTime, the new edition of PuckTime. Andrew,
the new edition.
The new edition.
Remember
the new Friday, the new Friday edition. No, we're not putting you out to pasture, Andrew. You got to be back in your seat on Monday. If I get a text message from you saying, "Oh, yeah, man, I just," or a call from you, I drank too much, can't make it in on Monday. I'm just going to get Dan in your spot, and he's going to mimic your voice. Dan Alexander, new host of PuckTime.
We've already heard Dan trying to pronounce European NHL players' names.
He's the best. He's the best. Listen, let's not poke Dan. You have a same game parlay, or should I go into my pod play?
Yeah, I do. I don't have a graphic for it, but it's all about the wins, hopefully. I'll tell you what, Carm, momentarily, I am retiring from the shots on goal props. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter wanting to do the exact same thing. And currently, I'm just done. I'm done with these shots on goal props. Whether I had one over the weekend that a couple days ago was plus 500. It cashed and then they took a shot away from me. I am just completely done with it. So this one here, we are looking at 4 guys to get a point, and this is all based on head-to-head history in their certain matchups here. So this is a spot here for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. He has gotten a point in 5 of his last 6 games in this matchup against the Seattle Kraken. We have seen Sam Bennett get a point in 3 straight games against the Nashville Predators. Alex DeBrincat has absolutely lit it up against his opponent as well, the Red Wings. And taking a look at Svechnikov, he has been a guy that's done the best on the Hurricanes against the Maple Leafs. So DeBrincat, Bennett, Nugent-Hopkins, Svechnikov, all of those guys together, that leads us to plus 630. Forget about the shot props for now, guys. We have cashed some of those bets, and there will be times to look towards them again, but I'm taking a few days off from the shot props. We're going with just the point props, and this one is a head-to-head point prop that we're looking at. Just these guys to all get at least 1 point in their matchup tonight. They have a great history against them. Carm, for me, look, off that winner yesterday, maybe the team totals are finally going to start rolling for me because you know what? That one last night felt good. 4-0 after the first period. Great deal right now. Great promo code that I've got for you guys. Here it is. Score 3. Score 3 to get 3 days for the price of $1. $39. NHL, college basketball, NFL, Thursday night football, WT.buzz/AM. For everybody yesterday that used that 3-day deal, you know, they're giving me an opportunity over 3 days to prove myself and try and make some money. If you buy just one play, you're putting all the pressure on that one play. You get 3 days, you get 7 days, you get 30 days. You're giving us a longer term to prove ourselves to you guys. And love that deal. Score 3 days for the price of $1. That's $39 for all sports for the next 3 days. I've got one play up so far. It's a 4% West Coast winner, Carm, a late night play. Looking forward to it, and hopefully we can cash. And guys, don't miss Carmine's 5% play. Carm did very well with 5% plays in November, and I expect nothing less out of you in December, Carm. It's the holiday season, man. Keep on giving.
It's the holiday season. Yeah, 6-1 last month with 5% plays. First one of December. Hopefully we can get a winner with that. NHL 10 will get you $10 off that play. A couple other NHL client plays are loaded. So if you're picking up a 1-day package, which is $39, or even a 3 or 7 day package, you'll get everything, including college football, NFL, and all NHL. And I do have a soccer play, a 4% play up for today as well, which brings us to the pod play. And we cashed our pod play yesterday to put us over 6K on the pod, which I'm very happy about, which means moving forward, the current balance, even though it's 611, will be 5,011 because I took a 1K out. I'm waiting for it to hit my account. And as I mentioned, guys, it's going to the food bank. I'm going to buy a bunch of food. I will record it when I drop all the stuff off, either on Friday or on the weekend, and we'll tweet it out so you guys can see that it actually did happen. Let's keep the pod play going. I am going to take the New York Rangers. Now, that line is the overnight line, plus 131. I posted it. I played it and posted it in our Slack because I knew our PuckTime production channel, because I wanted the guys to know what I had as the pod play. I figured some money would come in on the Rangers, and some has. It is not all mark in net for Ottawa tonight. It's Marilainen in goal for them. I just think this is a great spot for the Rangers to get a win. They are the best team in the Eastern Conference, road record wise. This team is playing extremely well on the road, plus 18 goal differential, which is third best, I believe, as well too, across all of the NHL. I am taking the New York Rangers plus 131. Let's go, Mika Zibanejad. Get some goals against your former team. That is the pod play, guys. And that's it for today's show. I'll be back tomorrow with Brian, and Brian and I will break down some games. We'll have the 6 and 60 as well too. Andrew, I wish you the best of luck this weekend in your travels, whatever you're doing. For myself, Andrew, Lawrence Presman, Bryan Leonard, and our fantastic producer, Dan, Philadelphia Eagles, Alexander. This is Puck Time. We'll see you on Friday.